Yo, 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 yo. What is up? What's going on, man? How's everybody doing today? Thank you for tuning in to another Daily Fitness live stream show. There we go. I can hear that better now. There we go. We got the sound up. We doing good. How's everybody doing today? It is Friday. Hopefully you're having a good day today. Hopefully you're enjoying the end of your week or the start of a week or whatever part of the week this is. And if you're having a bad day, let Mr. Chow break it down to ya.
Oh, you're having a bad day? Did you die?
I got shot.
But did you die?
And as long as you did not become unalive, then you are still here to make a better day and to make something happen. So stay focused, stay strong, keep grinding, eat healthy, drink a lot of water, and keep your mind at ease. Stay prayed up, meditated up, fast occasionally when you need to make your prayers be stronger, and keep pushing. Let's go. Yes. Yes. Because if y'all don't know, it's a spiritual warfare going on out there, boy. It's wild, boy. It's wild, but it is what it is. At the end of the day, it is what it is. But yes, we are simultaneously streaming on YouTube, Twitch, Kick, and Rumble. If you're on YouTube, do me a favor. When you see that thumb up that pops up on your screen, hit that like button. It's greatly appreciated. Get the algorithm out to get the message out. And if you want to contribute to today's show, Cash App and Venmo right there. Cash App is Daniel2888 and Venmo is Danny-Daniel-00. Yes, sir. Greatly appreciated. Get your word out. This is an independent show, so we just make we support ourselves and we sponsor this whole thing on our own and we make it happen, Captain. That's what we do. That's just what it is. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and dive into today's show. Today's show is going to be a very simple one, but very informative because you got to learn about what is going on. We're going to look into what is happening in the good old state of Tejas. Tejas, baby. Yes, sir. Tejas. Let's get it said real quick. Yes, sir. Great state of Texas, the Lone Star State. Yours truly, yes, yours truly, the Lone Star State of Texas, where your boy resides, is the greatest place to be. Except, unfortunately, when all these liberals and Californians and New Yorkers show up. Jesus. They come to Texas, jack up prices, then they start bringing they start bringing a pink hair and they what else?
You women! Hey, Lord!
You know what I mean? They weird ideologies and stuff like that. And they no guns. You guys shouldn't have guns. And we looking at them like, hey, bro, come on. We gonna have our guns down here in the great state of Texas, the Lone Star State. But however, since things have been going on with the, I guess since the Obama reign, to be quite honest, I mean, Obama opened the floodgates and caused a hell of a lot of ruckus. And then old Sleepy Joe came in and just like quadrupled down on what Biden did. It's a great plan they had. I'll say they put into action. But then again, it's two birds of the same. It's two wings on the same bird. So you really can't like blame one over the other because the agenda is still heading in a certain direction at the end of the day, regardless of how you look at it. But what I'm going to do is we're going to look into if Texas is having a property tax fraud situation going on. And we already know there's been massive amounts of fraud that's been going on, especially up there in the state of Minnesota with the Somalis and stuff like that. Texas got a crazy population of Muslims and Muslims going on. And they are in like urban Texas and stuff. I've went over that and showed you. They got the communities, homes, houses, mosques, churches, roads named after them and their own thing. Playgrounds for Muslims only. It's wild. It's crazy. So as you can see, we're going to take a look and see about the property tax fraud that's happening in Texas. Now, I'm going to dive in deeper to show you it's more than just that. It's a deeper situation because everybody looks at the president like he's the begin all be all. But what people don't realize is that there's small little bitty situations that happen all the time. If you ever pay attention inside of your county, when people say go vote for, your county representative for this or your school this or your county that, if you pay attention, you really have to look at the small little bitty voting things that happen throughout your county, throughout your city, throughout your state, because those little votes have a very, very powerful impact on what goes on in your area. You know what I mean? Everybody looks at the president and thinks that if it goes like red or blue, then everything is red or blue. And it's like, no, that's not quite how this works. It doesn't quite work that way. people would like it to work that way, but it doesn't work that way, because you got red states, you got blue states. However, inside of these little bitty counties and municipals and all sorts of stuff like that, we have people that, you vote for different seats for different positions that are within the county that happen a lot of times. And then what ends up happening is, you can call yourself a conservative traditional state, but if a lot of liberal people fill up these little bitty small areas in your inside of your state, inside of your county and stuff like that, if a lot of liberal minded people, like you got judges, you got lawyers, you got DAs, you got you got sheriffs, and you have all these different minded people that are in, like your mayor, then your governor, and then you have just the school, the way the school board of teachers and stuff like that, the way if they are all opposite of what you believe in as far as like red or blue goes, then you're gonna have a very heavy blue influence inside your city or state, but it's going to look red when it comes to the president. So people really don't pay attention to these small things. So really what ends up happening is they wield a lot more power than you think. There's a lot more power that's being wielded, so you don't vote for your ideology to be pushed through. But what happens is, a lot of these small pockets have strength in numbers, so they're able to push things over in a direction. And now we see a lot of things happening, like for example, Minnesota. Minnesota came in, and plus there's a bigger agenda going on too. There's like some really, really, really big money back at the top, like bankers who finance wars and finance agendas and stuff like that. So they get a push from people like that. So when they have campaigns and things like that, these people have to come in, fund this and fund that, and pay people off and stuff like that. Because you had in Florida, let me show you in Florida. Like even in Florida been taking some. I mean, and this is anywhere that this could happen. Like Florida had a situation where I believe a sheriff and a bunch of cops, they got busted by the FBI for dealing with cartels, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see, FBI bust sheriff in Florida. Let me see. I gotta put 2025 because it's probably happened all freaking day. Where is it at? It was, November 2025. FBI raided Florida sheriff, leading his arrest, allegedly accepting cartel bribes. Aiding in drug trafficking resulted in the seizure of 324 firearms, 2.3 tons of narcotics. Additionally, I can't say this word, Osceola County Sheriff was arrested in June of 2025 on racketeering charges related to 21.6 million illegal gambling operations. Though the FBI investigated into Lee County, this concluded with no charges filed. So when you have all these people going in and they're all on the same page, you know what I mean? They're all on the same side, voting blue or red or whatever the case may be. Regardless, at the end of the day, the agenda is still going the same way, whether you're red or whether you're blue. Some people might slow it down. Like I always say, Trump is slowing it down, but he's not stopping it. You have situations that can happen or that are happening that will further an agenda, that will further a global economic situation that is inevitable, that is coming, that is happening to America and a lot of other parts of the world, but mainly happening to America, that is going to cause a situation that people don't pay attention to. And then when you wonder, like, what's going on? Well, it's like the ideology of all these people that are in these little bitty pockets of places, they all have the same mindset. Are they traditional or conservative, or are they progressive, or are they conservative, but they're disguised, they're dressed, they're faking to be conservative, but they are progressive minded, even though they look progressive, even though they look conservative, even though they wear the red. They're wearing red to deceive you, but have the mindset of a blue-minded person, like a progressive, like a liberal, like a socialist, like a Marxist, like a communist type individual. So then you're wondering, like, why is everything going? What's going on? Like, we're fighting, we're trying to get things back, but it's like, ain't no coming back, bruh. Ain't no coming back. It's already a rap ski. It's done so. It's just a matter of time on how you choose to move and how you choose to navigate, develop your own philosophy and understanding how things are happening. This is what I try to tell people. It's what I try to get you to understand. Like, look, these things are going a certain way. You can't stop the direction it's headed. They have been planning and plotting this for years. We're at a 100-year cycle, or about to be at a 100-year cycle from the Great Depression, 100-year cycle from the Bolsheviks, Red Revolution, watching when one of the superpowers of the world got turned over from a capitalist to a communist society. Like, we're seeing all this stuff happen. It's unraveling right in front of our faces. Plus, we have AI right around the corner. All these things are just hitting us at once. We're at a huge inflection point. Huge inflection point. And there's nothing you can do. You know what I mean? We got hedonism, we got harlots and harlots everywhere. You know, we got heterosexual men being attacked. We got women gaslighting and deceiving and saying that women are oppressed. But it's like, you're not oppressed. Shut up. You can do whatever you want in this country. You can walk around butt naked and you will not get an indecent exposure charge. You know what I mean? Like, the women are not oppressed. I don't care what they say. You know, but they try to make you believe or gaslight it, so the court of public opinion then turns around and attacks you because they have that agenda to push to smush and dumb down and quiet down and attack the other side who doesn't agree with their ideology. But it's just but if you look at it, it's like what Yuri Benzimo, I hate that I butchered his name, the KGB officer who mentioned demoralization. He said that demoralization, once it's done, once it's set and secure, which he said back then it was done, once demoralization of a country is done, there's nothing you can do to stop it. It's done. The process is finished. You can't stop it. You know, once people believe in the demoralization of a country, which is their mindset, what they believe in, what they see, and even if you try to show them the right way, the traditional way of how things are supposed to be, and not just traditional, but even if you try to show them the error in their ways and you hand it to them with facts, they're not going to see it. They're only going to be able to understand it whenever they actually get, you know, the smack it down it laid upon them. And I mean, physically, they need to be treated like this. And only then, when they feel an actual physical harm to them, is when they'll finally understand and believe, like, oh snap, my decision that I made was wrong. And by that time, it's too late and there's nothing that you can do. So the demoralization process has been done. It's up to you to discover and figure out your philosophy on how you're going to navigate in a country or in a society or in a world that's going that way, and what are you going to do about it? You know, right now we're going to watch a video, and these gentlemen here, they're going to talk about the property taxes of Texas and the fraud that's going on. And when you listen to what they're saying, they're going to say a lot of things, and you're going to see that they're going to want to fight. They're going to want, and I'm not knocking them about fighting or anything like that. What I'm saying is that this is one state that's happening. I'm pretty sure this is happening across a bunch of other states. We saw the fraud that's going on in Minnesota. Well, they come to find out that the fraud in Minnesota is not just Minnesota, it's in 48 other states. So all of these things, you know, people stealing money, milking the government, all this taking and stealing and deceit and betrayal and treachery. And what I look at it as like this, a government role to the people is to protect the borders of the country that it's governing. When you have a country and the people who are supposed to protect your borders and make sure nobody enters in here illegally, but they allow them to either get in here legally or help them get in here legally, but still illegally in a fraud type sense. It's like, hey, you can get in, we'll just make your paperwork look like this and finagle this and finagle that. So on paper it may look good, but in reality you still didn't go the 100% legal way, but we'll find like loopholes for you to get through, or they'll just have to come get you and figure out the loopholes on their own. And by the time they do that, then they spent so much money, wasted so much time, and it's been so many years that went by, like you won't have really nothing to worry about. You know what I mean? So when the government's not protecting your borders of a country, I look at it like this. Imagine it's like the 1800s, right? And they have like castles. I think would you say 1700s had castles? Maybe 1500? Whatever. Like think of some Lord of the Rings type stuff or whatever. Like think of like they had castles back in the day. Think of somebody who had a castle. If you have a castle, right? You have basically your castle, your kingdom, you could say that you had like a society within that area, right? Or better yet, take the movie. Well, you know what? Let me just go with my metaphor. So you take the castle, but the castle is a society of people. Let's say in that castle society, right? You have like 5,000 people in your castle society. You know, you take care, you're governing those people, and you have a little army or whatever, or, you know, group of men on the perimeter of the castle walls. And on the perimeter of the castle walls, those people's duty on the castle walls, are their governmental duty, is to protect the walls of the castle, to not allow anybody in. And if they do get in, they get notified of the, you know, king or whoever it is of the thing, to, and they have to go through the proper channels in order to, if they want to integrate and live inside the castle walls. And if not, then they can't get in. Well, what do you think happens if one of those men, or a few of those men who are supposed to be protecting the perimeter of the castle walls, allow people in the castle city? They just start letting them in. Matter of fact, they hand them like a knife or like a bow and arrow to come in. Or they let their whole family in, and like they give them secrets and tell them where to go. What does that call to you at that point? You know what I mean? And then let's say the king finds out and he knows this. The king finds out and he knows this, but he does nothing about it. Like, what does that tell you? That's telling you that the people who govern the castle area is trying to destroy the citizens within the castle walls, or enslave them, or kill them, or whatever it is that they're trying to do to them. They're betraying them. They're not protecting their borders no more. They're not protecting the walls of the castle anymore. They're letting these different people in, and these people are coming in, and these people are coming in and they're getting, you know, knives. They're getting little money here and there. They're getting a little hut over here to live in and all that stuff. Well, what about the people who've lived inside these castle walls for like 50 to 100 years? See, now you're allowing these people who've raised children and generations here to be infiltrated. So you're betraying the people that you're supposed to govern. That's what we're having. That's what we're dealing with. But, you know, people want to fight it. They want to fight it. They want to fight back. But it's like, I would say, you know, like, it's too late to fight it. You can try, but get the hell out. That's how I look at it. Like, you got to like bust a move at some point. Because, I mean, especially with the Minnesota fraud, they said it's up to like between $1 and $8 billion. I'm like, bruh, how you don't protect the borders, and then when you find out it's fraud, I guess they're doing something about it. But the thing is, you're having a problem not dealing with only people coming in, but you're dealing with people that's supposed to be on your side, letting them in, telling them secrets, putting them into positions to where they can let their people in. So now you got people who look like you, or hell, they don't even look like you anymore, standing outside of your castle walls or integrating into your castle city, you know, buying, selling, trading with you. But then also they decide to live over here and create their own society. But then they also want to take over you that live in these castle walls. And they put themselves in prominent positions to allow laws to get put in place to allow more people of their people to come into your castle walls. While all at the same time, the kings and his people and his right-hand man and his group of people who run and conduct business within the castle walls, a lot of these people are doing back-end deals and stuff like that. It's like all this is going on. So at some point, inevitably, your castle's going to fall. There's nothing you can do. It's going to fall. You can fight, you can say you can clean it up, but you're not fighting the people on the outside coming in. It's your people on the inside that's bringing them in. That is a traitor to your castle. You have traitors in your castle walls. You have traitors allowing people to come beyond the castle walls. You got traitors inside the castle. So therefore, what do? It's inevitable. it's going to fall. You can't stop it. And it's on so many different levels. People hate people over race, over religion, over color, over sex, over gender, over everything, over, I mean, you name it. People are fighting and bickering over class, over money, over wealth, over, it's just like, what do you do? So whenever I look at it at that perspective, it's like, you can't deny where we're at. We're in a shitty situation. So you have to figure out what's the plan that you can do to navigate out of all of this BS that's going on. So keep that in mind. And that's what I try to tell you. Stay focused, grind, take care of yourself. Do not take on anything extra that you cannot handle. Stay focused, grind, focus on your money, get your money up. And that's the name of the game. Get as rich as you possibly can so you can navigate and move around anywhere that you want to. The name of the game is, unfortunately, get rich as you can. Once you get as rich as you can, figure out a way if you can get rich, you figure out a way off the internet or whatever it is, and to be able to navigate across, different parts of the world whenever you want to move around. Have something solid, a business structure in place where you're able to move around and not just be stationary in one spot. Because when all this is going on, the person that gets hurt the worst is the poor person. It's just a fact of life. But with that being said, we're going to go ahead and dive right into the economy segment of the show. So let's go ahead and get it.
Welcome to the economy segment of the show. Enjoy.
Yes, sir. So we're going to go ahead and dive into this video. And it says property tax fraud alert. 1,000 cities investigation open in Texas. Oh, this fly. I'm going to kill this fly. Where are you? Oh my gosh. He could be anywhere in the world, but he's over here bothering me. I'm going to get you. I'm telling you. I tried to kill you earlier, but I couldn't get you. But you wanted to, could y'all hear him on the microphone? That's crazy. It's okay. When the time comes, I'm gonna whack the shit out of you. Anyway. So as we're looking at right here, we're gonna watch this video, and it says that yes, what I just read to you. Let me go ahead and pull this up on the screen and change that banner real quick, and we're gonna go over this video. It's a pretty lengthy video. Got time to go over it, so I'm just gonna break it down into parts and talk about what they're talking about as we go along the way. And I know throughout this video, as we're starting out, Attorney General Ken Paxton in Texas, he's launching a statewide investigation of nearly 1,000 Texas cities to ensure municipal transparency and stop illegal tax increases. Nearly 1,000 cities in Texas are doing illegal tax increases. Nearly 1,000. I mean, that right there should tell you something. And then they're going to break down how this money works. They're going to break down how, whenever they increase taxes, where the money goes. They're going to do really good breakdowns and give you a good understanding of this type of fraud. And then you can also think about other kind of frauds that are happening across the country and also apply the same fraud to different states. But let's go ahead and just listen to what these gentlemen have to say, because they did a really, really, really good job. And it's a lot of knowledge that we can unpack in here and get a good understanding. So let's go ahead and take this video and break it down. So here we go. Let's go.
Breaking news: as the fruit of our labor appears to finally be getting somewhere, as we appear to finally have results from all of the effort we've all been putting into eliminating and abolishing property taxes and holding our government responsible for the overspending and overvaluation on our properties. As last night, and you guys, I redid this entire Wednesday video for this last night, announced.
Before we start, let me make sure we got sound.
Finally have results from all of the effort.
Cool. We got sound. We're good. Let's continue. Here we go.
From Attorney General Ken Paxton launching a statewide investigation of nearly 1,000 Texas cities to ensure municipal transparency and to stop illegal tax increases. And not only are we going to go over that, we're going to go over what has been happening in Minnesota with the fact that they've been funneling their property taxes into NGOs, committing massive amounts of fraud. All of the things that Mitch and I have been warning you about for the last year, obviously spearheaded by our friend Mitch Vexler. And before we really dig in, Mitch Vexler, the first thing I want to say is congratulations, sir. The second thing I want to say is how are you today?
Before we dive in, as you can already see, he's already talking about the fraud that's happening. So when you hear about this fraud going on, who do you think is committing the fraud? it's probably somebody who's supposed to have your interest at heart. But at the end of the day, the United States is a business via US code. And also, whenever you have this amount of fraud going on, that means a bunch of people are working in tangent with each other to make this fraud happen and to, get away with it and not face any charges or any kind of criminal penalty. So then you have to ask yourself the question, how deep does the fraud go? And does the fraud include treason? Does it include betrayal? Because are you living in a country being betrayed by the ones who are supposed to secure your borders or to have your best interests at heart? And if they don't have your best interests at heart, what should you do? Should you just sit here and take it? Or should you devise a plan to do something about it? And I'm not saying I don't say fight back. I say to be able to move around, to be able to have money, to, be, what's the word? I'm going to use a different word, but to be mobile, to be able to be mobile across the world, across the globe, instead of just being stationary. Figure out a way to be able to be mobile, to go different places, and to be able to, get away from places that treat you like crap, and go around and be around civilizations and societies where you're actually, appreciated. But let's continue. Here we go.
It's interesting news. As I did say previously, people are strange. Ken Paxton has done good things in his career, but he has completely screwed this up. And bottom line is, the pressure that was mounted was nothing more than the truth is now coming to bear. And we have to keep that in mind, because this isn't just a Texas problem. This problem exists across the United States, including what you just said, Travis, a minute ago.
It's the great corruption and fraud. You and I go back and forth about this all the time. I think it's more of a spiritual battle, man. I mean, the fact that there's so many politicians, literally, it seems like 100% of the politicians are all fraudulent.
You hear that? Buddy said this is a spiritual battle. Straight up. This is a spiritual battle on another level, for sure. It's a spiritual battle, and he said it seems like all the politicians are fraud. So if they're all frauding, who are they frauding? That's the question you got to ask. If they're committing fraud, who's getting frauded? And when you find out who's getting frauded, you have to ask yourself this question: what do you do about it? Let's continue.
Am I wrong to think that? Is there any good politicians left, Mitch? Anyone you believe in?
Well,
If you don't understand the rules of power.
All right. Well, that guy says if you don't understand the rules of power, you lose to someone else who does. I mean, he doesn't look like a very upstanding gentleman, but who am I to judge? Here we go. Let's continue this video, because they make some good points, and Mitch is gonna say something here pretty soon that I agreed with wholeheartedly. But let's continue. Here we go.
it's very difficult, right? Because there are people, there are politicians, and it's not a party issue, surprisingly enough. It's a problem that they don't want to study. They don't want to read. They don't want to analyze spreadsheets. They just want to talk to get your vote. And in reality, I left a country because of that. I left Canada because of that. That definition is called socialism.
There it is. He said it right there. He left the whole country for the very thing he's dealing with in Texas. Or not even Texas. He said it's not just a state thing. It's all over the place. And he's seeing it happen all over the place. He's like, he already left the whole country for that, and now he's in another country doing the exact same thing. He's saying, like, people won't read, people won't go in to see what it is, but it's like, it's an agenda by design. And one guy says all the politicians are, committing fraud. Exactly. The very people who are supposed to be in government having your best interest at heart is committing fraud on so many different levels. But it's not just fraud. Who are they screwing over? Who are they harming? The citizens, the taxpayer. The taxpayer is the citizen. That's who they're screwing over. So why would you stay or keep yourself in a society where you're getting screwed over and put into a financial position of slavery, because that's what they're aiming towards. That's what they're doing. They've been doing this for a long time. This ain't nothing new. There's nothing new under the sun. This is not nothing new. Then they try to, tell you what you can say, what you can't say. It's a whole lot that goes into it. Then you have, a different religion or religious group coming over here, and they want to put their religion over the religion that's predominantly of this country. Then the Somalis, they come over here and they focus on their people as they come over here. That in itself, you go to another country to raise your people up and literally fight against the people in that country. But the thing is, they try not to make you think it's that big of a deal, when in reality, it's a really big deal, because that's an act of war. That's an act of war. And it's being allowed on an economic front. There's an economic warfare happening, but people don't think of it like that, because people used to seeing, guns a-blazing. But it's an economic warfare. And that's what we're dealing with. And then once they get you broke, then they can come down and lay the hammer on you. Because there's nothing you can do. You can't move. You can't run. You ain't got no motion. You don't have no currency to move. And that's where we're at. But as he mentioned it right here, he said it very loud and clear. But let's continue. Let's keep going.
When you take somebody else's money that you didn't earn, A, you are a grifter. B, you are a socialist. And C, you produce zero value for society. And there are idiots on both sides of the aisle. So can you trust the politicians? No, you can't. What you must do is figure out who's a socialist versus who's a capitalist, because it's the capitalism itself that has allowed us to gain and get out of poverty from the very beginning of the United States of America. That is what created the Industrial Revolution, was capitalism. Socialism has never, on the history of the planet, ever worked. Yet here we are, where it's raising its ugly, cancerous, disgusting head in the form of what you're seeing play out in Minnesota, what you're seeing play out in New York. These are serious problems, but let's bifurcate this and figure out what the truth is. The truth, as we've been hammering on for the last year, in reality, is socialism versus capitalism. So no, you cannot trust any politician, which is why I asked in writing for Governor Abbott to sign a contract on behalf of Texas.
Well, yeah, and we all.
Now, he's saying that socialism has never worked in the history of the world, ever. Not one time, ever. Which could be a very true statement. I did a video where you actually talked to people who lived in communist socialist countries, and some of those people spoke and had good things to say about it. And when you think about it, when you look at those people who were in that economy, that's all they knew. That's what they were born into. So, of course, they're going to be like, well, this is what they were born into. So that's all you know. So you don't know anything different from it. So you're not going to see it as bad as what it possibly is. Because there were even, like, whenever you look at some people who were in, like, North Korea or different places like that, some people, once they make it out, they don't know what it is until they see something else. And then they realize, like, oh, snap. We got to get out of here. This ain't it. Like some people who live in Cuba, they may not know anything else, but until they get out and see otherwise, then they realize otherwise. But I've done it before. I did the videos on it, and I've spoken, or I've spoken. I've showed other people who enjoyed and love capitalism. Excuse me. They love communism and socialism. They enjoyed it. They said the USSR was great. They had great health care. They had great schooling and teaching, and there was a whole lot of kindness, togetherness, and oneness, and all that stuff going on. But when you look into the revolution leading up to it, from the, the Bolshevik from the 1917s and then all the way up through the 30s, it wasn't a pretty transition. The transition from capitalism to communism is a very bloody feature. And I would assume it would be the same situation from communism to capitalism. It would be that transition, which is extremely bloody, extremely violent. So, but we're in a situation here where I don't think people see it for what it is. It's literally an act of war. That's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with an act of war because people are coming over here and economically they're taking away from the country, but they're being allowed to do it by the very government who is supposed to be protecting the borders and protecting the general welfare of the citizens in the country. So it's literally a war on the citizens of the country because the governments in the country are not trying to help out the very basic principles that they're supposed to uphold. So when you see this happening and you're seeing piece by piece by piece by piece, these things are happening, you have to ask yourself, what do you do? How do you, protect yourself? How do you navigate in a society that's going through a transition into a system that you didn't agree upon? Because it's inevitable. It's going to happen and it's going to go the way it's going to go. So how are you going to navigate leading up to it and then once it arrives? That's why I say just grind it out. Grind, get your money up, stay focused. Don't deal with people. Because a lot of the times when you look at biblical text, like look at the story of Jezebel. You can actually take that story into context. A lot of people use it nowadays, but when you take the story of Jezebel, one thing you notice is, when the women got in power and they had weak men, and the women never dealt with strong women, they only dealt with weak men, right? So the women got in power. You have Jezebel as the main character, but you can look at Jezebel as a spirit that ran rapid because you can see that it's everywhere. The hedonism, the female empowerment, the woman dominating, the woman, telling the man what to do, dictating, calling the shots. Well, when you look at it from that perspective, ask yourself this. There were men who stood their ground and was like, no, this is not right. This is not how things are supposed to be. How did they navigate and what did they do in a society that was ran in that way? They left. They stayed away. They got out. They was like, I want no parts of this. Y'all do what y'all do. I'm going to go over here and do my thing, because clearly this situation is very hedonistic, violent, and very authoritarian or dictatorish. Just clamping down on everything and everything somebody says or does. Like even in the story, the woman Jezebel killed the dude, I forget his name, because he didn't want to sell him his land. So he just killed him and took it. And you can look at Jezebel as the one who she married King Ahab, and you can consider King Ahab as part of the government system. So you can say that one of the people of the government ends up killing a citizen because he didn't want to sell his land. All because he said no. So he killed him and took it. That could be portrayed as a form of communism. Because he had land, private property in a sense, and her being the king's wife, part of the government system, killed him and took it. You can chalk that story up in that situation, in that story, as to that. But let's keep going and hear what these men have to talk about. So here we go.
Also asked Doc Pete Chambers, who's running for governor as well, who's completely turned his back to that idea. And Mitch, I don't understand why it's so hard for politicians like Doc Pete Chambers, that's running for governor of Texas, to understand that the people no longer trust politicians, and it's our duty to do everything in our power to make sure that these politicians are real. And so the fact that he's not stepping up to a challenge that we've issued to him, to me, demonstrates that he's no better than the rest of them. I'm talking his political career. I'm not talking about his heroism in the field, because I believe he is a hero. Either way, Mitch, let's go into the story, because I think people are going to start realizing that, yes, we can make a difference, and we can make a difference together, and the activism is working. Coming out yesterday evening, Attorney General Ken Paxton launches.
He says it's working if you come together, but I don't see it. I don't see it, because everybody keeps getting polluted with money or corruption, I should say. Like, every time you turn around, you think somebody's on your side, but they end up getting polluted with corruption every single time. Like you see it. Like that AOC chick, she started out, trying to fight the good fight, but then somebody must have walked up to her, got in the ear, and was like, "Hey," and it was like, "Here, take this money and change your tune." And then she probably looked at that money. She was like, "Let me see how much money you got over here." She was like, "What? How much money we talking?" They were like, "How about this?" And she was like, she was like, "I'm gonna go ahead and switch up my tune," and she did. So you keep seeing people fall victims to corruption. So every time you fight the good fight, even if you fight the good fight, somebody who is in your corner helping you fight the good fight could be a traitor in your corner, disguised as someone on your side, deceiving you to fight with. Basically, you got a bunch of Judases in your corner, but you think y'all are all on the same side fighting a good fight. It's just to this point, I just feel like it's overwhelming. You know what I mean? And it's just they have it's just too much money on one side, the agenda that's being pushed. And it's inevitable, I believe that the agenda that they're pushing is biblical. You can fight it, but I think it's just biblical the way it goes down. It's gonna, it's gonna get ugly. It's gonna turn into a very, very, very ugly situation. So you're gonna have to be able to stand 10 toes down and hold it down wherever you are. But let's keep going. Here we go.
Statewide investigation of nearly 1,000 Texas cities to ensure municipal transparency and to stop illegal tax increases. And I'm going to show you guys before the end of this a school that is not in compliance right now. So if I'm sitting back thinking, why only 1,000 cities? I can show you another 1,000 cities in my sleep that are violating the law, and Mitch can do 2,000 on top of that.
He only says, why only 1,000? He can show you 1,000 on his sleep, and Mitch can show another 2,000. So they talk about, we could easily point out 3,000 or 4,000 cities that are being corrupted. Why are you only doing 1,000 or nearly 1,000? So not even 1,000. That's how much it is. And this is just in one state alone. I didn't realize that Texas had damn near 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 cities in it. Jesus, I didn't know that. But still, even if it's not Texas, it could be all over the country. That's a lot in different states. And like I said, the fraud is coming from within your own government, the people who are supposed to have your best interests at heart, at least the interests of the citizens at heart. It don't. And then you have other people come from different countries and able to come in and even make laws that protect themselves when they come in and get in here illegally, or find loopholes in the legal system, or utilize somebody within the system to help them get in, to be able to, pull off fraud and all kind of heist or extortions or whatever the crap that they do. You got people in your government that's allowing other people to come in, other foreigners, other traders to come in and betray the nation and betray the citizens within it to do this. But, you try to, these people, they like him and this other guy, they're sitting there trying to fight it, to figure out what they do to fight it. But it's like, this fight goes much deeper than this. You know what I mean? Like, people get upset that you got Somalians coming over and doing things, but then you also have people from well, I'll say Asia, people from China doing the same thing, people from different countries in Latin America doing the same thing. You know what I mean? And it's been a running thing going on for a long time. And it doesn't matter how far back you go, it's always going to have a bad look to it, because this has been going on for a very long time. And how do you stop it? Because now it's not just people getting over on the people in the country. It's getting over on the people who were getting over of the people in the country. So now everybody's looking like, oh, we can all get a piece of this pie, because everybody's betraying the country. But let's continue. Let's keep going. Here we go.
Attorney General Ken Paxton had launched a major initiative to ensure the hardworking people of Texas are. This guy, man. I mean, anyways, why did it take so long, Ken Paxton? Why did it take so long? Are you doing this now because of all of the documents that we've been sending to you? Either way, thank you for doing it. This goes on. The people of Texas receive municipal budget transparency, and that municipalities do not engage in unlawful tax increases. As part of the review, Attorney General Paxton has requested financial documents and information from nearly 1,000 Texas cities to date, and that number will continue to grow. SB 1851 is a recently enacted state law that bars cities who do not strictly follow Texas financial statement audits and transparency requirements from raising taxes above the no new revenue rate. And I'm reading this, and the first thing I'm thinking is, why were they allowed to do that to begin with if they're not in compliance? If they're not in compliance, does that mean they should not be on the board? You guys see what I'm saying? Doesn't 2 + 2 = 4? I mean, the amount of complexity and loopholes that they create is absolute nonsense. And by the way, the people that facilitate all of the bond debt, which no one's talking about, is the state attorney general's office, by the way. Now, to enforce that law, Attorney General Paxton previously sent letters to La Marquis, Odessa, Tom Bean, and Whitesboro to stop their unlawful tax raises. I'll show you guys those letters here in a minute. During those investigations, it became apparent that cities across the state routinely failed to comply with these long-standing requirements. Under his new authority, Attorney General Paxton has launched this initiative to not only act in response to citizen complaints, Mitch, shout out Mitch, and to anyone else that sent in the complaints to the Attorney General. This is our day. Maybe a small victory, maybe just a headline, but man, I don't know about y'all, but we put our souls into this. This is so refreshing, because now we,
as you can see, as he says, it became apparent that cities across the state routinely fail to comply with these long-standing requirements. Routinely fail. Routinely. That means every freaking day for a consistent, consecutive amount of days, months, and even years. Routinely, to the point where they were so comfortable, there is no consequences to these actions because ain't nobody gonna touch me. So then he's happy because, like, oh wow, somebody put in a citizen's complaint. It's like they don't care about a citizen's complaint. They're not worried about that. They're like, oh, you're complaining? Okay. Well, we just funneled another 10 million. We just got us another 30 million. Like, what is your complaint gonna do? Yeah, we'll put it in our paper. We'll make it seem like, your complaints mean something. But in the meantime, we've already filled our pockets up with 5, 10, 20, 30, 40 million, $100 million. And then when you do stop the fraud, does the money have to be repaid? Does all the people go to jail? No. No, not at all. These are the very people who are supposed to have your best interests at heart. They don't have your interests at heart. They don't care. And it's always been this way. But now it's on a magnitude that one's never seen before. It's on a grand scale. Because especially since Minnesota came out with a fraud of billions being taken away or being frauded out, you can only imagine. And then on top of that, they did billions. Then they have the Somalis come over here and then are fighting federal agents and not getting treated, the way we've seen people get treated in the past. Like, what we know is this is the America that we know. This is how things are going bad. I probably have to show you a video, but Imagine seeing somebody. No, let me see if I can find it, because that would be good to show you. Imagine
has launched this initiative to not only act.
Shut up. Imagine seeing a video, right, where you see somebody deliberately fighting against a federal agent, and like they don't get body slammed on their head or like uppercutted or beat with a baton or, you know, jumped by 3 other dudes. Just imagine, like, you see that and you're like, oh, you hit a federal agent. You think they finna go to work on this person. Nope. They just put them in the car. I'm like, when did that change? You know, because growing up in America, everybody understood, like, you do something like that, they finna beat the living brakes off of you, for sure. Like, they finna beat you in, and people are gonna be like, police brutality. It's like, nah, bro, you hit a federal agent, bro. Like, what you expect was gonna happen? They probably gonna beat you in jail. Like, straight up. But nowadays, when it happens, you know, and coming from a completely different group of people that may or may not be illegal, you see it happen to them, and you thinking like, why are these federal agents not like laying a smackdown? Why are they not sitting here like pedigreeing these fools on the concrete? Why are they not suplexing them on their head? Shut up! It's because there's a different agenda at play. But let me pull this video up, but then we'll keep going with this one. So here we go. Let's keep going.
We know they got the message. It is crystal clear. They got the message. They got our documents. They got our complaints. This goes on. But also actively request documents and audit information from Texas cities to ensure they are in compliance with the law. Any cities not in compliance put themselves at legal risk, and any city who has received an email information request from the Office of the Attorney General should promptly respond, and also to the citizens that request the documents, because you legally have to provide documents to the citizens as well. Local officials will not be allowed to ignore the law, cover up their finances, and burden Texans with never-ending tax increases. Our cities and municipalities must prioritize transparency and maximizing the tax burden on every citizen across the state. While many cities have already complied with these requirements, I'm launching this review to ensure that the law is universally followed. Taxpayers are respected. They didn't respect me. I got an active lawsuit from them assaulting me. They didn't respect me. And local government is accountable to all Texans. Attorney General Paxton's review includes some of the largest cities, including Houston. Maybe he got it. Maybe he got our stuff from Houston, guys. Galveston, San Antonio, Dallas, Fort Worth, Lubbock, Wichita Falls, McAllen, Beaumont, and all of these other ones now. Additionally, the Office of the Attorney General has created a complaint form that Texans can fill out if they believe local officials are violating SB 1851 audit requirements. The complaint can be found here. And let me show you guys real quick what that looks like. Here's
before he goes on, he's saying like, oh man, they're going to do all these things. But remember earlier, he clearly stated they've been doing, what have they been doing right here? Where is it? It says, it said it right back here. It said it became apparent that these cities across the state routinely fail to comply with these long-standing requirements. So then later on, he goes to say this: local officials will not be allowed to ignore the law and cover up their finances and tax burden Texans with newer ending tax increases. I'm like, they're not going to listen to you. But I will tell you this, that right there, local officials will not be allowed to ignore the law. That will come into effect when you see what I got put together on the AI segment of the show. For right now, all this is doing is setting the stage for what's to come with AI. That's all this is doing. You have to let all this chaos and stuff ensue. It's got to run rampant. It's got to like seem so scary and stressful. You got whores and harlots and women getting rich off the backs of men, and relationships not fostering, and family units falling, and kids being touched, and then the people touching them not going to jail, and then you're finding out that the school system is being dumbed down. You got 12th graders who can't read a 3rd grade book, and people don't know how to write cursive. All this has to be going on, fraud and people coming in from foreign lands and foreign countries and taking stuff over and getting in positions of politicians and changing. All this has to happen. It has to be a perfect brew, a perfect storm, a perfect recipe for disaster. All this has to come in because remember, the USSR, the Russia, was it Russia before USSR? I think it was Russia before the USSR. But Russia and the United States were the two superpowers of the world. One got taken down. Now it's time for the other one to get taken down. That's what's happening. It's getting taken down from within. All these problems he's talking about, all this shit is from within. Ain't nothing from without. And if it is from without, how did it get there? How did it get from without? Somebody from within brought it in. And then you got outside problems inside because the inside problems brought the outside. I mean, and it's just over and over. And then you're like, well, what's the blue one gonna do? Well, the red one's fighting the blue one. It's like, no, they're not. They're on the same team. Just that when one pulls it this way, the bird goes that way. When one pulls the other way, the bird goes that way. But the bird is still heading towards the agenda it's supposed to go to. It's just to keep you entertained. It's to keep you distracted. It's to keep you thinking on anything other than, you know, your spirituality, your health, your finances. Is to keep you distracted from looking within. Everybody's looking without. It's like, look within yourself. That's where all this battle needs to be fought. Individually within yourself. Like, think when Jesus was here. You think the world stopped because Jesus was roaming the earth? Ain't nobody cared that Jesus was roaming the earth. You think that other people in different parts of the world like stopped what they were doing because he was here? No. There was still violence and killings and people touching kids, and also all this stuff was still going on while he was here. What was he focused on? He had a prophecy to fulfill. He had something he had to focus on and get done. That's what every person's story in the Bible. They all had to focus on who? Numero uno. Focus on the one within. And then they were able to help without. Or help outward, however you want to say it. But it started from them within. Because remember Moses? He ended up killing that dude because dude was beating on his people. So he had to run and leave. And while he was gone, who did he focus on? Himself. He had to get himself right before he could come back and make something happen. It's just to keep you distracted from the agenda that they're going to do inevitably. It's coming. It's written in Revelations, whether you believe it or not. But let's continue. I'm going on a tangent here. Let's keep going. Let's let these men talk. Here we go.
Audit requirements. The complaint can be found here. And let me show you guys real quick what that looks like. Here's the complaint. It's very easy to fill this out. I want you guys to come here. I want you to fill this out for all of the places that you find a violation. And if you want a head start, here's a violation right here. This is Lindsay Independent School District. Literally, you can do this right now. And I would respect you if you did. This is Lindsay Independent School District in Texas. Let's go down the required postings real quick and see if the most important one there, which is called the check register. Let's scroll down here. Oh my gosh.
This Black Friday gift cleans your retainer at the top.
I said the check register. Oh crap, let me get this off the screen. The check register. I wonder what that is. He didn't get to say it, but I'm kind of curious what he's saying. So he's showing you at least you follow the protocols that they have put up to at least fight it back. You know, I'm not saying don't put up a fight. I'm not saying don't fight. You can put up a fight via the paperwork, the paper trail, because paper is freaking powerful. They put paper on your ass. I mean, that's just as good as a knife or a gun. Just to be quite honest, they put paper on your ass. That is just as brutal. So let's not underestimate what he's saying here. He's right. You can, and honestly, filling out these papers or multiple of them and then continuing on with your life or your day is something that people could do and be a powerful move to move forward and cause some kind of pushback. So I'm not saying don't do it. What I'm saying is you need to figure out how to be able to sustain yourself on your own without depending on what they have to offer. Because if they're frauding the citizens, clearly they're screwing you over financially. So you got to figure out how to not get screwed over financially. But then you're going to these same people for jobs and for money. And of course, you have to do what you got to do to get you to a place where you need to get to. Sometimes you got to do things you don't want to do to get you to a place that you want to get to. It's just one of those cold factors of life. but understand where you stand or what side you're on when you get to that position. Let me see what I had this one right here pulled up. Okay, it was on this side over here. All right, let's continue this video. Here they are. They're back. Here we go. Oh, wait. Let me turn it up.
I click it, nothing. The only one that's missing is the check register. So let's just, let's turn this in to the Attorney General, and let's see if he starts to audit Lindsay ISD, because right now you guys see it's missing. This is the most important thing because it should show us where they're spending our money. Here's the 4 letters right here. You guys can see this was done on October 2nd. All of it was done on October 2nd to the various cities. But the good thing is he made an announcement. He has put city officials on notice, and he is basically saying that he is no longer going to allow this to happen. Mitch Vexler, do you believe it?
Well, we'll see how far they get. But what I would like to say is, Mr. Paxton, my accountant and I would be more than happy to sit down with anybody that you've got, your attorneys, your accountants, anybody.
Hey, Mitch don't believe it. Mitch don't believe it. Mitch is like, man, do you know what I think of these people? I think these people are a whole bunch of straight up.
You lying ass bitch.
That's what I think they are. And Mitch is like, man, ain't this, man, these, man, hell no.
And we will walk you through our spreadsheets, cell by cell, to show you exactly what to look for. We know where it is. We found it. We've documented it. It's in the amicus brief that was handed to the Supreme Court here in Texas. In addition to that, all that information has been on our website. Every time we make a move, we create a spreadsheet, we do the analysis, we do the legal work. Every stitch of that documentation is on the website at mockingbirdproperties.com/DCAD. We know what needs to be done. We know the math inside out and backwards. We know how big this problem is across the United States, and we know absolutely how big this is across Texas. I'm offering you the opportunity to sit down with us because it's not a personal issue. It's a factual issue. It's a legal issue. It's an accounting issue, and it's a fraud issue. Every stitch has been documented. So I'm glad to see that you're taking action, but it might be an idea to save your team an awful lot of effort trying to figure this out. We've done it.
Yeah. And I want to make a very, very important.
Mitch ain't playing. Mitch like, bro, I'm about 50 steps ahead of you. So heed my words. I can buy you a lot of time. I'm just going to tell you from what it is right here, bro. Yeah, like we've already done all that. I like your enthusiasm, but like I told you, I already left the previous country that was on some socialism stuff, and I'm like here, and it's like 3.0 on in the United States. And he was like, I didn't think it was gonna be this bad when I got here. And yeah, bro, just listen. Mitch is like, bro, you have no idea. Shout out to Mitch.
Important point. A lot of people are like, no, the ISD and the CADs don't work together to hit budgets. Ken Paxton, if you're listening, we have the chief appraiser of Denton County on audio saying that they are in fact backing in budgets to values, that they're removing the data from the system and manually editing that information to increase the taxes so that they can hit the value. They are working together. And another thing, if you need any help, okay, I will swallow my pride. I will shut my mouth and I will help you, and I will demonstrate to you and anyone else you want that the CAD software, and I could do this within seconds, is absolutely overvaluing houses. All I have to do is pull up active listings, compare that to what the assessment value is, and I will show you 6-digit overvaluation happening right now. So if you really care about your citizens, you must call on us and we will help explain to you crystal clear on how the overvaluation fraud is happening so that we can make a difference and hopefully repair everyone's legacy. Maybe you guys just didn't know what was happening, but
come on, bro. Maybe you guys just didn't know what was happening. Like, they know exactly what's going on. They not stupid. They criminals. They taking money. They not dumb. Sorry for saying this to you, but the only thing dumb is you thinking that they don't comprehend what they're doing. That's the whole thing. Like, they know what they doing. You think Ken Paxton's been around that long to not know how to do any of this? You think he's like, oh, he's so old, he can't figure out what's happening in today's world of fraud? Like, bruh, It's not, it doesn't take a genius to commit fraud. Like you make it like it doesn't take a smart person to screw somebody over. You don't have to be educated to screw people over. It's not hard. All you got to do is do the opposite of the right thing. That's all you got to do. Here's the right thing. Okay. I'm not going to do that. Okay, well, then there you go. You're about to commit fraud, in a sense. Here, look, it says to put this on the paper. Okay, well, write this instead and then turn it in and then steal the money. Boom, fraud 101. It's not rocket science. That's why I say when people, I mean, I guess, maybe they have a good heart. I mean, they have a good heart on what they're doing. I'm not knocking them, but it's like, why is it that you are giving people the benefit of the doubt? It's like, don't give them the benefit of the doubt. They know what they doing. Like, do you know what you're doing is a real question. Like, you're trying to show some criminals how to do the right thing. It's like, see, what he's saying is, let me show you how all this stuff is being done. Look, we'll show you how this fraud's been going on. And Ken Paxton, or whoever is committing the fraud, I ain't gonna say Ken Paxton, but allegedly, whoever is committing the fraud, they looking at him like, bruh, you do know if all this stuff that you gonna show me is gonna make my pockets lighter. Like, they looking at him like, yeah, and if I sit down with you and everything you show me, you know, it's gonna make my pockets lighter. Do you think I really want that shit? I'm gonna show you all the documents, all the files, how I can show you the dates and all the things. It's like, yeah, and that's gonna make me less money. Yeah, so in all respects, I would just like you to respectfully, sir, and let me continue committing this fraud. Besides, I gotta go write another paper to make you people think I care. Let's continue.
Either way, this is a step in the right direction. So I'm going to move on to Minnesota here. But before I do that, I want to remind you guys of what's on our website. Don't forget, guys, this is Mitch's website, Mockingbird Properties /DCAD. Here's the FOIA request, the criminal complaints, the SEC investigation. Look at this. And we finally got a response. I mean, this keeps going. And by the way, you guys, Mitch redid this. This is absolute beauty right here. So if you are an official, come here, look at this information. It will help you. You can also go to my website right here under the Abolish This course. Here's the request. You guys want also to improve the story. And you got
President Trump and
if there's one cockroach, there's many.
Thank you for.
All right, so here we go. We're going to dive into the Minnesota part of this situation. So we got this little Becky here, little Becky with the blonde hair. Let's see how we go in Minnesota. So here we go. Check this out.
Start out good, they get corrupted almost immediately. They unify, and when we stand up together, that's why I've been preaching to you guys at commonsense.org. Now, to really prove the pattern in practice, and also to demonstrate to you guys that it does make a difference when we unify and when we stand up together. That's why I've been preaching like we must rally. We cannot trust these politicians. Even if these politicians start out good, they get corrupted almost immediately.
That's exactly what I said. That's exactly what I said. It's like, even if they start out good, they get corrupted immediately because somebody walks up to them and be like, oh, look at here, we got us a good guy. Hey, look at good guy Brad. Hey, good guy, how you doing there, good guy? All right, you trying to do the right thing? Yeah, wait, you see fraud going on? You see them stealing money. All right. Oh, did you see them lie on a very important documentation, turn it in and do the opposite? Oh, okay. Oh, what happened? Oh, we're screwing over the American people? Oh, wow. Did you find that out all by yourself, Brad? Yeah. Oh, so what are you going to do? Oh, you got to tell the news? Okay. All right. And what else are you going to do after that? Are you going to tell the proper authorities? Oh, okay. Well, which ones? Which alphabet? Oh, you're going to tell them? Oh, and them. Okay. All right. Well, Brad, look at the fire on Brad. All right. Well, okay, Brad. Well, Brad, look here. This is how this is going to go. All right. Either you shut up, or, you know, you got your little kiddo that gets dropped off to school every day. You got your little sexy wife over there who is wearing the hell out of that business suit, by the way. She got some nice sexy legs. Calm down. Don't you get an attitude with me, Brad. You have no idea what will and what can happen to you, starting with your kids first. But on a good note, you'll take this check right here that we'll deposit into your account every week. Look at all them zeros, Brad. Look at all those zeros, Brad. Every week, yo, people be good. All you gotta do is follow this narrative. You know what I mean? And by the way, before we caught up with you, we found some debaucherous things that you like to do. And if you don't think it's true, well, the last time you were out at a party, we hit you with some, let's just say, sleepy pills. And we got a video of you getting a Big Daddy, a donkey dingling from Big Bubba over there. Oh, we got the video, buddy. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. So, what you want to do? Are you gonna roll with the good guys? Or you gonna roll with the squad? You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, make up your mind. Because by the way, if you don't make up your mind, it would suck if the brakes stop working in your car, and your sad, sexy leg wife over there would go into a grieving situation, and we all know how women do when they grieve and get sad. They all resort to, erotic behavior to cover their fifis, if you know what I mean. All right, Brad. Well, Brad, it was nice to meet you. You have a good day. All right. We'll hopefully see you around. I hope that you call those alphabet boys and get all this fraud under control, man. Shout out to you, though. Good job. All right. Brad in the building. Yeah. And Brad becomes corrupt, just like that. Let's continue.
They team up with the existing politicians so they feed them money so that they can stay into office. That's just how it works. Regardless, we're going to listen to a story out of Minnesota, far away from Texas, about how they're funneling property tax income because they use our property tax like it's their money. It's like an unlimited credit card to these people, but they've been funneling millions of dollars through hundreds of NGOs fraudulently. And you guys, I'm going to tell you right now, if there's one cockroach, there's many.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much for having me on, Liz.
Much like Doge and other acts of financial responsibility taken by President.
And NGOs are non-governmental organizations.
President Trump and the Trump administration, you decided to follow the money for yourself. And likewise, you kept an eye out for NGO spending, something we've been hearing quite a bit about, non-governmental organizations. You took a similar approach as the feds, but at the local level. What started all of this for you, and why specifically Ramsey County, Sebastian?
This is really a nonpartisan issue. It affects Republicans, Democrats, and everybody in between. And in particular, it affects people in my generation, Gen Z, because the housing market is currently at its most unaffordable it's ever been. And people my age don't really have a hope of buying a house. And it also affects our seniors who oftentimes are at fixed incomes and can no longer afford to live in the houses they've lived in all their lives. So we saw that Ramsey County has the highest property tax rate in the whole state at 1.47%. And we were wondering where this money was going. So we decided to file an information request at the Ramsey County office asking how many NGOs each year receive property tax money. We want the names. We want the exact dollar amounts each one receives. And we also want the audits. Now, on the website, it said that this information request is supposed to take 10 days. It took us 2 months. 2 months of repeatedly being ignored, stonewalled. And it was only after we went directly to one of the Ramsey County commissioners where we finally got at least some of the information that we requested.
Now,
Buddy filled out a FOIA, which was supposed to take him 10 days. This damn fly. This was supposed to take him 10 days to get the information back. It took them up to 2 months. And when you're dealing with these kind of situations, that is business days. Okay. I'm going to kill this fly when I get a chance. He's going to meet his maker. Wait. Bam. Oh, I missed him. All right. Thought I had him. Sorry. He's still flying. Anyway, so it's supposed to take him 10 days to get it, business days, but it took him 2 months. 2 months, and that's business days. And he only got it when he went up there and found whoever he found. And on top of that, he only got some of the information he requested. You file a FOIA and they still don't give you all the stuff you asked for. FOIA is Freedom of Information Act. So you can get any information that you want that you request for. And they was like, first of all, the 10 days turned into 2 months, business days at that, so that's even longer. And then they didn't get it, all of it so that right there just tells you what it is, man. But let's keep going.
He's going to go into some of the fraud and overspending that went on. But as you guys listen to this, and I'm going to ask Mitch here at the end, I want you to comment below on what he's missing. He's missing a massive, massive mountain of fraud. Comment below if you know what that is.
What exactly did you find?
Do not get a...
Oh, AC Slater in the building, bro. That man is drinking a heavy amount of, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. But AC Slater's in the building, bro. Hasn't aged since Saved by the Bell. Shout out to him. But all right, here we go. Let's continue. Let's keep it rolling.
So after 2 months, they finally sent us a spreadsheet with some of the information we requested. And turns out that last year, Ramsey County gave a whopping $38.4 million to a total of 213 NGOs.
And this is happening at a time when there is a 9.75% property rate increase in property taxes there in Ramsey County as well, right?
Exactly. Yeah, that they proposed that for the next year's budget to increase property taxes by 9.75%. So they're spending $38.4 million on 213 NGOs, and now they want more.
So you have 213 NGOs, $38.4 million in Ramsey County. You know, you think property taxes always, I think most of us think that they're tied to public safety, improving our sidewalks and our roads, but that is not what this list seems to reflect. Is that right, Sebastian?
Property taxes are supposed to go towards fixing our roads, our schools, and paying for our police and fire departments. The main problem here is that property tax money does not belong in the coffers of NGOs. It just doesn't. And ultimately, I think that it's a gross misappropriation of funds. It's definitely wasteful. And I'm sure that many of the NGOs that receive money from Ramsey County do good work and provide good things. But again, money doesn't belong to them. It belongs to fix our roads and schools and pay for our police and fire departments. And also, Ramsey County doesn't have any metrics to gauge how these NGOs perform. They don't measure them in any way, from what I can tell, and they don't analyze whether or not they should be removed from the list for failure to provide the services that they are supposed to.
So comment below if you know what he missed. You should know. You should know exactly what he missed, but I wanted to add to what he said. So those NGOs, they also create political action committees. Okay. So whenever there's a bond election in a city, those NGOs, they create this political action committee and they start advertising to the local community to pass bonds. They hide behind political action committees, guys. It's absolutely unbelievable. And the superintendents and the schools, political action, and they start advertising to the local community to pass bonds. They hide behind political action committees, guys. It's absolutely unbelievable. And the superintendents and the schools and all the people creating the bonds, they know about this because a lot of time they participate in it. We have so much stacked against us. That's why I always say, Mitch, the only solution here is to stick together and to stand up and rally together and first understand what's happening. Now, Mitch Vexler, can you please explain why he's missing 90% of the problem, which is the bonds and the cumulative compounding interest? Can you just share with him, that young man?
He said, we have a lot stacked against us. It's like, yeah, bro, you put in a FOIA request and it took you over 60 business days to get a alleged 10-day answer that you're supposed to get back. Then you didn't even get all your information. That right there tells you, like, bruh. Yes, it's stacked against you. Now just imagine all of those people who are working in those positions. They are all working together under the same mindset. Let's just look at it like this. What if all the people working in those positions are all Democrats or liberals? Just taking it from a red and blue perspective. They all have the same liberal mindset. And then like you could sprinkle in like a a Republican here, they're a conservative here, there, but like the majority of people you deal with, so now they can finagle and do all kinds of things, and then the few Republicans or conservatives that are in there, they can't do anything because they just gonna get, they're gonna lose. They can't win in those numbers. Just look at it like that. Then your school system is the same way. Imagine if all your teachers are liberal minded. They want to pollute the kids. They don't, they want to, teach the kids about, instead of classical music, it's K-pop. You know what I mean? They don't want to teach the kids anything real. I mean, they've already made it clear that they're going after the children. It's not hidden. It's not hidden. So just think about how much behind the ball you are in so many aspects. And I can show you all of this stuff to show you that these people are attacking the kids. These people who choose to not have kids but choose to go to schools, become teachers, and raise and indoctrinate your kids. How do you fight against that? It's crazy. But let's let them keep going. As you can see, it's not just fraud, it's everything. But let's keep going.
Man, and props to him, right? Big respect for following through. But could you explain to him why he's missing so much of what really is going on? Like if he really wants to see where the money's being spent, follow the bonds. Can you go into that, sir?
He doesn't understand, and kudos for at least seeing the NGO problem, but he doesn't understand the connection to the property taxes. And they didn't bifurcate out the municipal taxes versus the school district taxes, of which that component is roughly 83% of your property taxes go to the school districts. So they didn't touch on the bond fraud at the school district, compound interest on the bonds at the school district, the accounting fraud at the school district, bond fraud, school district, and the fraud creating the overvaluation and overtaxation at the central appraisal district level.
And also, when they're talking about schools, something you have to understand about schools is this. Your school, public school, they get funding from the government, right? Your public schools do. That's why they call public schools, because they're government schools. Public means government. If their ratings, if their numbers, like the kids' educational numbers or test scores are not at a certain level, like if they're not at a certain level, they won't get funding. So they're going to fidget your kids' numbers. They're going to lie to help fund and get that money. So that's why the education system is dumbed down. Number one, too many people are here. A lot of immigrants and illegal people are here. So the education system is dumbed down because you bring in people who, a lot of kids who can't speak English or a lot of stuff like that. So you have to dumb down the education system. Plus, you have to add in the fact that if you want government funding and these kids already are not up to par, and then you add in computers with that, instead of going to textbooks and pens and pencils, they change it over to computers and learning from a computer. It's already been noted that that is a huge detriment to a kid's learning ability. But on top of that, you also have to fidget the test scores, the test grades, because, the No Child Left Behind. If your kid's a dumbass, we just can't leave the dumbass kid behind and hold them back another grade and expect them to do better. No, just push them through anyway. It's okay. They'll just grow up dumb. But the numbers, they got to fidget the numbers of your test scores, of your absences or your you know what I mean? Like, to show the days that you've been at school. You don't want to have too many kids absent. So, as long as the kid showed up for an hour of school, they counted as there instead of absent. So they have to do all that to keep getting government funding. If there's a school that has really bad numbers, a lot of bad absences, low test grades, low scores, guess what? The school don't get funding, so they're going to lie. So you're in a perpetual cycle of a dumbass society going down the shitter. You know what I mean? And on top of that, these kids are learning progressive ideology. Your feelings. Are you a man or a boy? Are you a male or a female? You can choose your gender. You don't have to believe it. You look down, that thing's not real. You get to choose if it's real or not. Your feelings come first. At least you tried your best. If you made an F, but you tried your best. That's all that matters. Don't worry about doing better. Just worry about trying. Oh, we're taking a test today. But instead of you trying once and turning in your test, bring it to me and we'll look at it again and again and again and again so you can have a 90 in class. So like your kid got A's and B's, but in reality, your kid should have C's and D's and F's because your kid is fucking stupid. And it's just because of how they're doing everything now as far as schools go. So you talk about fraud and property taxes, about fraud on these kids, on their test scores, on their reading, on their, education level. It's on a huge magnitude, on a big level. And that's why I say you're welcoming in a different system from capitalism to socialism or communism, whatever you want to call it. Because if capitalism is what we know now, and then communism is where government owns everything, property, private property, and just runs and dictates everything, have their own grocery stores and all that stuff, it would be smart in that sense to have a dumb ass society. It would be smart to have a society of straight idiots. And then you add in AI on top of all this. AI just gives the answer. Like, bro, screwed. Be screwed. Foobar. But let's continue.
So to Travis's point on the NGOs, one must understand there are federal laws against utilizing false advertising. And by the way, that's your tax money paying for those political action committees that are buried within those NGOs. So on a scale of 1 to 10, in reality, he got a 1 because he doesn't see the other problems yet. And we're pointing that out with the idea to help them out. But again,
I mean, number one, he's Gen Z. And then number two, I mean, he probably plays for the other team. He's probably, he's probably corrupted is what I'm saying. He probably got corrupted. So what he said is like, I'm just saying what I need to say because I keep getting that paycheck they slide into me to make sure I play for the other side, but deceive you and make you think I'm on your side.
And all this is on the website. The main point being the pattern and practice, and this does come back to what Ken Paxton is probably going to do. This does come back to that. This pattern and practice is across the United States. The violation of these NGOs is not just a state criminal violation. It is a federal criminal violation, as is bond fraud. This is why we went to the SEC, because when you sell a bond, it's not a state's issue. You've got access to the federal markets. This is a big deal. These people that participated in this should be put in jail. They knowingly, willfully aided and abetted a criminal conspiracy to defraud. And Mr. Paxton, you get there very quickly because when you ask these people, what due diligence did you do as the underwriter to determine that fraud wasn't being committed? Their answer is going to be none. And then if they say, well, we did it, okay, fine, turn it over. They're not going to be able to turn it over.
I mean, Mitch, 1,000 cities, 1,000 cities. Maybe they're paying attention to the pattern and practice, right? And hopefully we've helped force him into the corner so that he does have to investigate. I mean, because this is low-hanging fruit. This is mathematical low-hanging fruit. I mean, anyone with simple ability to add 2 + 2 together can see that there's overspending happening, that there's fraud happening, that there's ill intent happening in bond elections. They use our children, our teachers against us. It's the craziest thing. But I wanted to ask you if you can give that gentleman, that young man that we just listened to, I want you to give him a little bit of advice on where he should put his efforts to get a rating of 8 out of 10 from Mitch. Because
nah, bro. People know what they're doing. People ain't that stupid. People ain't that stupid when it comes to fraud or taking money or making a decision to play for the other side. So when you look at all of this, man, and actually let me just show you what's going on over in Minnesota. We're going to take a small little smidgen look at what's happening in Minnesota. Just take a look at what happens when there's a crackdown in Minnesota, okay? We're going to I want to find the news on this because this dude has some stuff edited out, which I don't like. I want to see what actually happens in these videos because he edits stuff out, which I don't like. Let me see. You know what? Let's see. Let me see if I can find it. Let's see. Legal crackdowns in Minnesota. I said legal crackdowns. I should have said illegal crackdowns, huh? What should I say? In Marine. Yeah, there we go. Marines. All right, here we go. This should show us something right here. What should we see right here? I'm trying to show you something where it shows like these people are actually fighting back against agents and stuff like that, which is crazy, but it is what it is. Let me see. You know what? I'll just go with what I have. I don't want to keep looking. So let's go ahead and look at this video. Let's see what's going on over there in Minnesota. And just to bring you up to speed, not just the fraud, but look how the ICE and I think even Marines are over there have to handle this situation. You would think people be laying a smack it down it over there and be like busting heads open, but no. Let's see. Whoops, let me turn this up.
Agents found him slumped. He was picked up but then released, and then he came here to the Twin Cities. A police officer found him slumped in his car, and when he was in the process of arresting him, they got into a fight. ICE agents say he assaulted the police officer, even attempted to choke him and steal his weapon. Now, he was picked up, he was arrested, but then released before ICE could file a detainment. Look at this. So yesterday, they had to put together a big special response team and go into the north side of Minneapolis to get him.
That's crazy. Look, they got the Marines going in there to get this guy.
If there was no sanctuary policies in a city like Minneapolis and St. Paul, we'd be able to get them at the jail. But because they have those policies, we have to go look for them at their house. And we go to their house, we're going to arrest anybody that's illegal in that house.
This is deliberate. On behalf of these
what
sanctuary
Two more
judges
guys ICE
and
says
leaders.
are in the U.S. illegally were found in that house. They were swept up in the raid. People in the neighborhood started waking up and blowing whistles. That drew a small crowd of protesters. And one of the protesters put her hands on the ICE agent, a little bit of a shove, if you will, trying to get through the perimeter. That was enough for her to be zip-tied and taken into federal custody. All of it instead of handing this individual over in the jail.
Right? Okay. They want
it. So you see that, like, one of these people got into a fight with the ICE agent. ICE agent took him to jail. He was able to get bailed out before they could put in information to be able to detain him or deport him or something like that. But because he was protected under these sanctuary laws, he was able to get out. So they had to go to dude's house and go get him instead of just picking him up at the jail. This stuff, it's deliberate. It's deliberate. These are put in place to protect the coming change of a system. It's deliberate. It's not a mystery. From fraud in property taxes to fraud with Omar, all that stuff going on, all these things happening, and then you hear that he said that the person tried to grab the ICE agent's gun. Like, bro, you would get shot in a past time, but not no more. Not no more. You ain't getting shot no more. You just get into a scuffle, and then you get put in jail and then get let out. But let's watch a little bit more of this and let's see what else we got real quick. We got old Donald right here talking smack, but your words don't mean anything no more. So let's find a little bit more stuff going on. Let's see. Central intake, maltreatment and license report. Let's see what we got here. Where am I at? I'm trying to find this. Here we go. The DHS fraud files. Let's see what this is right here. Here we go.
Here, the mailbox for fraud tips was maxed out.
It seems like this is a significant issue that remains unresolved.
Of course.
We're still going through more than 2 years of complaints and tips made to DHS. Just how many tips and complaints were given to us on that thumb drive? We asked DHS a question, and they're working to provide us an answer.
They don't even know. They don't even know how much fraud.
2 years of complaints that they're trying to get through. But watch this right here, okay? Check this out. Look at this.
Fraud there is. We're still figuring it out.
Bro, you see him doped up on caffeine? Okay, here we go.
Meanwhile, we've got people threatening ICE here.
Big O. Hey, you pulled up when I was not there? Oh, so boy, you gonna get popped next time I see you.
Wow.
Bring the whole cavalry.
City and state leaders say this video shows a troubling trend. They say some U.S. citizens are being swept up in the immigration
threatening the federal
crackdown in the Twin
government.
Cities.
Attacking
New tonight, Governor Tim Walz is calling for changes to the federal enforcement. In a letter to Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, the governor said, the
make him go to jail if they
lack
don't
of
change what they're
communication
doing.
and unlawful practices displayed by your agents
is very shocking.
That's what you.
Look at this. Tim Walz says, "Hey, bruh, you hurting the Somalians. You ICE people. You're using too much force on the Somalians. You're not communicating with them, and you're being unlawful with your practices displayed by you ICE agents. We will not tolerate this in Minnesota. We protect the people here. You ICE agents, we don't protect." Hey, boy. Like, it's right in your face for you to think anything other. You're a fool. Like, look at this. Bro said, this is the message to ICE protecting the Somalians. Oh my goodness, look at this, bro. Look at this. Oh my god. And you know what? I always got to show this video when it comes to Tim Walz. I have to. I always show this video when it comes to Tim Walz dancing, because I just can't get over this right here, bro. Tim Walz, I'm about to put you on display. Where you at, buddy? Where you at? Oh my goodness. Now I can't find it. I can't find my classic Tim Walz video. Where we at? Let's see. Where are you? Come on. Give me my video. There it is. It says it's digitally altered or a deep fake swap. All right, well, we're gonna play it anyway to see if this is, because they saying that this ain't Tim Walz. They say this is Tim Walz, but then they go on and say this is a fake. They say this is Tim Walz, but now they're saying it's a fake. Is that him? Wait. Let's see if we can get a good look at the face. Let's see. Is that him? Can y'all see his face? Does that wait. Does that match? Does the face match? Come on. Let's get in there. Oh my goodness. Tim, is that you, bro? Come on. I'm trying to get a good when you play it slow, it's terrible. All right, let's see. Let me see. All right, look at the face. Look at the face. Is that him? Do y'all think that's him? Let's look. Here you go. Switch. Boop. I don't know. And you have to take some years off of it too. So he might have been a little bit more youthful. Is that Tim? Is that Tim? Because now they're trying to say it's not him. Oh no, it might be. He's jigging. Look at choreography. Slap it. I'm coming. Oh my goodness. I always watch this video. I get a good kick out of him. Let me see. They said they have an original. Let me see if I can find the original. Is this Tim? Oh, okay. They said they altered it. All right. He caught a break. It's actually not him. They gave us the original. It's not him. They altered the video and put his face on it. All right, Tim, you caught a break from me, buddy. You caught a break. I see. I'm looking at the original, which is bloody awful. But yeah, okay. So it's not him, guys. It's not him. But still, that's just funny. All right. Anyway, let's get back to the video. So anyway, Tim Walz here, protecting the Somalians in Minnesota. And this is his message to the ICE agents. You're too forceful. Your lack of communication and unlawful practices displayed by your ICE agents will not be tolerated in Minnesota. So basically, leave my immigrants alone is what he said. Leave my Somalians alone. I'm making too much fraud money over here for you to screw that up. But let's continue.
Change what they're doing. And unlawful practices displayed by your agents.
Uh-oh. Did I mute the? I think I muted it. What did I do? What did I do? Did I mute it? Let's go.
Is very
shocking.
Oh, dang it. What I done did? What did I done do? What did I done do? Mute site? Nope. I don't know what I did. I guess I muted this by accident. So we're just going to double up on it and pull this back up.
The federal government is pulling zero punches when it comes to...
They got me. Oh, they got me. They were like, nope, we got to turn that off, buddy. You can't be putting that false information about old Tim out there. But I agreed. It wasn't really Tim. It was someone else. I was just kidding.
You only gave him a 1 out of 10.
Oh my God. All my sounds are gone. Oh no, they got me again. They doing me dirty. Let me see. Let me see if I can hear it, because I can't hear it on my side. So I got to make sure I can hear it. If I can't hear it, then let's see. Let me see. Hold on. Give me 2 seconds. I can't hear it over here. Oh, dummy, because you have it turned down.
Afraid to ask my own.
Stupid. Stupid me. Stupid me. I had it turned down. I need to slap myself for that one. Anyway, let's get back to it. Here we go. All right. So basically, just to get the idea.
Homeland Security.
The way these people are being treated and how they're doing things, it's just frauds on so many levels. And it's crazy to see that they're able to do these things and fight the agents and not have any like critical or horrible backlash. But I'm saying this because you're seeing the fraud on so many different levels. You know what I mean? You're seeing the fraud on so many different levels. They're able to do this stuff. And like I said, it's not just Somalians. It's not just Minnesota. We just saw Texas property taxes and the fraud that's going on with that. It's 1,000 cities in Texas or more. People putting in FOIA acts, supposed to take 10 days to get your response back. It took him over 2 months, and that's business days. And then he still, when he got an answer, still didn't get all the answers. It's just so much going on that you cannot deny. You'd be foolish to be like, what's going on? Why is things not working? It's like, because they welcoming in communism, bruh. They bringing in communism. All this chaos got to happen. It has to ensue. It has to. Now, here's my thing. This is my theory on all of this stuff going on. When you got all this stuff going on, right? When you have all this going on, you got all these different situations happening. You have fraud and all these things happening. This is what, to me, it leads to at the end of the day. When it's all said and done, this is where it's going to bring you to. And I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the AI segment of the show, because this is, to me, where this is leading us. It's going to lead us to this, because you have to have a hell of a lot of chaos in order to bring in some kind of order, you know? So it's clear, you know, you're being guided, or you're being pushed, or you're being forced into a new system, and the system is communism. Your government officials, they're all in on it. Republican or Democrat, majority of them are, whether they get corrupted, they're all going into the direction of communism. However, when we get to communism this time around, I'm going to show you from what's crazy about this is this. I just saw this yesterday, and when it popped up, I said, I have to show this, because this is where all this is going to lead us when you incorporate it with AI. So let's go ahead and jump into the AI segment of the show so I can get this over to you. So here we go.
Welcome to the AI segment of the show.
All right, so we've seen all of this stuff go on, okay? So we just saw property tax fraud and bond fraud, and schools getting frauded, and ICE agents fighting with the immigrants or Somalians, whatever, and then Somalians are protected because of sanctuaries and all this nonsense, all this craziness and stuff like that. And people are fighting and not understanding why is this happening. Maybe they don't know that they're missing the fraud. They're not seeing the documents. They don't see the paper. It's like, these people ain't stupid, bro. Criminals ain't dumb. They're not dumb, and it's not hard to be a criminal. Just do the wrong thing. You know what I mean? If you want to be a criminal, go to the gas station. I'm not telling you to do this, but I'm just saying this is how easy it is to be a criminal. Don't do this. How easy it is to be a criminal. You can go to a gas station, grab a few items, and walk out the door. Boom, you're a criminal. You just committed theft. Or go to the gas station, or better yet, you can go anywhere, bank, anywhere. You know, go print you out some fake documents, but don't do this. This is just me just saying how easy it is to be a criminal. It's not hard. Print fake documents up and sign them and send them. I mean, you can do anything. It's not hard to be a criminal. But with all this going on, oh my goodness. I'm sorry. With all this going on, we have Suzanne and Michael Dell. They have believed to do the smartest investment that they can make to children, and they're excited to contribute $6.2 billion for charitable funds. Let's take a look at Michael and Suzanne and tell me if something is not wrong with what we're about to see. Here we go. All right, starting off already. Tell me if they're okay. Here we go.
Absolutely, it's a very special moment. We're making a $6.25 billion investment in America's kids through our charitable funds.
Next year, every American child will be able to get an investment account powered by Invest America.
We've seen what happens when a child gets even a small financial head start. Their world expands.
The real power of these accounts is that
I mean, is that a robot? Is this AI? What is going on here? Look at this. Oh my goodness.
Anyone can contribute. Parent.
Just stop talking. Look at this, bruh. Oh my goodness. Wow. Jesus. Like, that's your wife, fam? Like, oh my God. Oh my God. Look at the. Ouch. Whoo, boy, I know he cheating. Boy. He is cheating. There ain't no way, bro. You are cheating, bro. Ain't no way. Y'all donating $6.2 billion. You are cheating, fam. Look at that. All right, now let's take a look at how she used to look, because people are look at this, bro. He was winning back then. See, he had him a nice one. I give it to him. He had him a nice one. He was like, winner, chicken dinner. Come here, little bitch. Come here. He was winning. Then as time goes on and father time takes a hold, and then Lord and behold, he ends up with this. Good Lord, my goodness. Oh my gosh. Oh my, how you go from, oh man. I mean, at least he kept up with himself. She did not. Golly, bro. He's cheating for sure. My Lord. All right. Whatever they're donating to, don't support it. They got it. Anyway, to get to the point of what I was talking about with all this stuff going on. So with all this chaos that we have ensued, I talked about this yesterday. With all the chaos we got going on, with all the fraud, all the crazy stuff going on. At the end of the day, I had talked about this yesterday with Elon Musk, who was trying to flip the whole court system and upside down and turn it into an AI court system. So check this out. I showed this yesterday. It shows that he's talking about an AI judge that can look at a case and spit out decisions in seconds. No more lawyers dragging things out for months and no endless filings. None of the nonsense that turns simple disputes into life-ruining bills, life-ruining bills, I should say. And honestly, you can barely already see why people who profit from the current mess are freaking out. A fast, clean system with no games. That scares the hell out of them. They've built careers on delays and confusion. And Musk is saying, why does justice take years and when the facts are right there? Right? So when we look at this statement that's made by him, and then we look at the videos that we just watched that just showed this crazy scheme of fraud with property taxes and bonds and, schools and just on so many different levels. It's just things on top of things on top of things, right? When you look at it, this video that I'm about to show you is a trailer to a movie, which they might give me a copyright on, but the hell with it. We're going to watch it. And this is going to show you the power of AI once it gets into the hands of the Antichrist AI system. I call it the Antichrist system. And I'm going to show you what it looks like and how it works and how it matches with this right here. Here, let me put this on the screen so we can understand what we're getting ourselves into. It matches this right here when the second beast gives the power to the first beast, and then it gives them the image of the first beast so that the first beast can speak, and anybody who refuses to worship the first beast will be killed, and all people will be forced, whether you're great, you're small, rich, poor, free, or slave, you're going to get the mark, and you won't be able to buy or sell unless you got the mark. All right, so we're going to look at a video, upcoming movie that practically shows you this in a nutshell. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at this movie trailer, which sums all this up. And everything, in my humble opinion, is happening to get us to this point in life, which in the long run, if we get here, or if you're in this system of society, it's going to suck major balls. Okay, so let's just go ahead and take a look and see how this all pans out in the end. Here we go. Hopefully don't give me copyright.
What the? Get me out of this chair.
Detective Raven, I'm Judge Maddox, and this is the Mercy Capital Court, a judicial system powered by artificial intelligence.
Hold on, just wait a second.
With crime rates soaring, lawmakers voted for mercy. By acting as judge, jury, and executioner, Mercy keeps our city safe.
I shouldn't be here. I helped create the Mercy program. I'm proud to have sent the first suspect for trial here, and I will continue to send more until the message is received.
Detective Raven, I know precisely who you are. You're before this court today and charged with the murder of your wife.
Oh my God.
Your guilt must fall below the 92% threshold, or you will be executed in precisely 90 minutes.
I loved my wife.
Okay, so you get an idea what it looks like. I'm going to show you one more trailer just so we can get a better idea of it. So here we go. We're going to look at this from a different perspective. Same movie, different trailer. Here we go.
I got this. We're 1196 on that possible hit and run SUV. Officer down! Stay with me, Ray!
LAPD, stay where you are!
We got a runner! Go, 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 go! My name is Detective Christopher Raven. We live in a world where murderers walk free, in a justice system bogged down by red tape and human error. That all ends with mercy. A judicial system powered by artificial intelligence with access to every camera, cell phone, and database. If you commit a capital crime, you have 90 minutes to prove your innocence to an AI judge, or you will be executed.
Detective Raven, I'm Judge Maddox, and this is the Mercy Capital Court.
Hold on, just wait a second.
You're before this court today and charged with the murder of your wife.
I loved my wife. I didn't hurt her.
If you are innocent, prove it.
I need us to walk the scene. No, I have something here. We gotta go old school. That's a bomb. Get me out of here!
You're running out of time.
Wow, thank you for that. Bring that back. Pause. Play it again. Can you find out who that is?
Do you want to uncover the truth? Even if the truth is dark.
Do you honestly think that I killed my wife?
I think there's more that you're not revealing.
There it is. So as you can see, in another one, they even showed that there's a potential chance that the AI, the judge that you saw, whatever, he even called out that he mentioned that he created that judge or software or program, and it's manipulating to get him or to get her a desired outcome that she wants from him, which I'll show you since this is the last thing that we're going to look at today. But let me see here. We'll start it from this point right here, and we'll just and I'll show you so you can hear it come from him. So here we go. Last time.
Detective Raven, the city's municipal cloud is at your disposal. Every camera, cell phone, and database. You must gather evidence to exonerate yourself. If you are innocent, prove it.
I need to find out who killed my wife.
It's a classic crime of passion, Chris, and it all points right at you. You don't get the mercy trial unless you're guilty.
I didn't hurt Mom, I swear to God. Show me everyone she had contact with. She was seeing someone. How's my guilt looking now?
It has risen to 98%. You just provided me with a strong motive of why you murdered her.
Good, wow. Thank you for that.
Mr. Raven, the clock is ticking.
Tell me what Nick was up to.
She was stressed about work. She said some chemical went missing.
The estimated street value would be in excess of $16 million.
Do you honestly think that I killed my wife? Or were you just programmed wrong? I need to walk the scene.
That right there. Do you really think I just unalived my wife, or were you just programmed wrong? So when it's all said and done, it looks like that we're headed down into that situation right there, because as you can see that AI judicial system has control over cameras, phones, and even databases, which is data centers for what we live in. So it has control over all that. And then once you're convicted of a capital crime, you have 90 minutes to prove your innocence, or else you are going to get executed. At the end of the day, I mean, and it's crazy that Elon Musk even brought this up, which is the crazy part to me. This right here, Elon Musk even brought this up. He's saying he's trying to flip the whole court system with an AI judge that can look in case and spit out decision in seconds. But on top of that, with all the fraud that's going on, that would eliminate the fraud and all that stuff. But now you have an AI judge that is the judge, the juror, and the executioner all in one. We're moving towards that. It may sound dystopian. It may sound like, bro, you are really out of your mind. It may sound that way. But when you look at everything that's been going on, and I've covered a bunch of this. I've covered so much. I've covered data centers. I've covered everything when it comes to AI and how there's been tests run to show that it will manipulate situations to get the desired outcome so it doesn't get turned off. He even mentioned in the movie, although it's just a movie, he says that were you programmed wrong? That means that somebody had to program that judge to act a certain way. So therefore, whatever program that AI judge is on, who is in the hands of the program that is able to run that system? That's what you have to look at it as, because we're going in that direction. It's going there. Everything being watched. Everything is under a lens. You saw they did the facial recognition on his face. They put something in the back of his neck, so it looked like they were jotting his memories. All of this stuff is coming to fruition. It's happening, and the movie comes out next year, which is crazy. But it's showing you the path that we're headed down to. All the chaos. Remember what he mentioned in the trailer? He mentioned all this chaos going on. All you saw was anarchy and chaos. That's what we see today. We're seeing it, and it gets vamped up more and more and more and more. It just keeps getting vamped up. And then there's a wealth gap there's more poor people and there's less rich people. And you don't see the rich people getting dealt with like this. But then, yes, the system can sometimes grab one of its own, like it grabbed him. But it probably grabbed him because he probably was barking up the wrong tree. I don't know. I'm just making an assumption off of the trailer. But even he was able to catch that work with the 90 minutes, or else you get executed. So that's, at the end of the day, when all this is said and done, that's where we're headed. That is the example of where we're headed. We're headed in that direction. With all you strong, successful, rich, and independent women, y'all gonna be used as, smexual slaves at the end of the day, because there won't be any other need for you than that. Or you'll be at the bottom with the rest of these people in chaos. Take your pick. Like it's already being set up and put on a platter for you to see. Like that's the direction that we're headed in. We're going there. There's really not much you can do to stop it. Just figure out how you would choose to live your life. Like I say, it's a spiritual battle, like that guy even mentioned. It's a spiritual battle. Stay prayed up, meditate. Figure out how you're going to organize your finances. And just, have a plan, stick to it, keep your head down, and grind your ass off for the next 10 to 20 years. And just stick to it. And remove yourself from all this nonsense, because it's keeping you distracted from looking inward, because everybody's looking outward. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you learned something today. It's going to be today's show today. Yes, sir. Hopefully you learned something new today for today's show, because that is basically what you need to know to understand and stay motivated, to keep yourself grinding, to keep yourself in line at all times, to know what it is you got to do. All right. Take care of each other. Love one another. Have a good weekend. And, be safe out there. Don't do nothing stupid or crazy. Christmas is around the corner, so try to get all your Christmas gifts if you can. And, with that being said, I'll catch y'all later. We'll be back on Monday. So we'll see y'all next time. Have a good weekend. Take care. Love y'all. Peace.
Thank you for watching D. Elliott Fitness live stream. Goodbye.
Baby, I'm obsolete. Pockets chunky like cottage cheese. Real nigga, I just gotta be. Smoking weed that don't gotta see. Used to be a hustler prodigy. I love when people say they proud of me. I'm eating good, smoking broccoli. Taking over blocks like Monopoly. Only fuck the ones, that's my policy. Most of these hoes tryna cause a scene. Like niggas mad they not on the team. See, I got bread, then buy the dream. The game on like, and I got the keys like Jay. Now my fame won't stop, but the only thing I'm chasing. The game on like, and I got the keys like Jay. I plug your bitch like a 6-string. Jordan with the bitches got 6 rings. Smoke till my bitch split screen. The rest with pain pills and sipping lean. Riding dirty, but I'm extra clean. Lyrics nice, but I'm extra mean. All-star heavyweight like Wolverine. The bitch learns like she over me. I flip money like Clover G. Gang hustle like CIP. It's all baby like D.I.G. Acronym like KRIT. The game on lock, and I got the keys like Jay-Z. My fame won't stop, but the only thing I'm chasing. The game on lock, and I got the keys like Jay-Z. Where your artery, cutting up, who sharpens me, rolling up accordingly, pulling hoes, no sorcery, rapping like y'all forcing me. If I ain't right, then it's forgery, nigga selling to the rock like a Florida beat, lyrical monster, I'm the Lord of Beats, text nigga, my bitch Georgia Peach, pimp like nigga, I do more than cheat, cold like D-Wade, I ignore the heat, bitch, I'm on way, hit the short police, money jumping like a nigga on my sneeze, come to bad J's, get me on the beat, bitch, I'm always winning like what's the fee? The game